What's up, Met fans, and welcome back to Talking Mets at Rob on our early Monday edition, only because of one reason, guys. Today is the MLB deadline at 12 p.m., where 28-man rosters have to become 26. And for one team in particular, the New York Mets, it is a huge decision to make on who is the other guy that's going to be off this roster come 12 p.m. today. There's 5 guys that are big possibilities of either being cut or sent down to the minor leagues. We are going to first start off with those 5 guys and talk about other guys as well that are not really talked about as much. But first, once again, guys, don't forget to hit on that like button. Let's get the stream out to more people, more Mets fans over the next hour. We would probably hear stuff by now. Just waiting. They were supposed to have a decision already, but it seems like it's much more harder than it actually seems to them. You know, sitting down in a room trying to decide. Even Buck Showalter last night said that it's going to be a tough decision. It's not going to be an easy decision to make. It's obvious. Look, if Cano wasn't making the money he's making, it would be a slam dunk decision. It would be no problem. You know, Yohan Lopez is the one guy going down, and the other guy would have been Cano if the money wasn't $20+ million for the next 2 years. No matter how rich you are, $20 million down the drain is still a big pill to swallow. But when it comes to the New York Mets, there's a lot of people talking. We heard Francisco Lindor yesterday that he would be upset if Robinson Cano gets cut off this team. Is it more of a chemistry thing with Robinson Cano, or is it the money thing with Robinson Cano? We'll get into that in a little bit. But interesting thing to look at as well, a trade scenario. And the reason why I say that is because there's been a little bit of rumors about one San Diego Padre, Dinelson Lamet. The reliever for the Padres, he has a 5 ERA right now, but has really good stuff. And I think a change of scenery would do wonders for Dinelson Lamet. And that's another thing where you can easily fix up the roster quickly in the trade as well. We will get into those scenarios in a little bit. Once again, guys, don't forget to hit on that like button. And if you're new to the channel, say what's up in the chat. You will get a shout out, and subscribe to the channel, guys. We have done many big things here over the last 6 months or so with this channel through the lockout, through the preseason, and now in the season, doing awesome live streams during Mets games. That if you haven't checked it out yet, you should check out a replay of one of the live streams. It's a lot of fun and a lot of reactions and a lot of opinions from Met fans and other fans of baseball. So here we go, guys. Here we go right now. And we're going to look at what is going on right now. All right, guys, here we go. Decision has been made. Right-handed pitcher Yohan Lopez has been optioned to AAA following last night's game. And today, infielder Robinson Cano has been designated for a signing, bringing the Mets roster to 26. Everybody's wish has been given. Robinson Cano has been designated for assignment. The New York Mets have $8 to $40 million remaining on Robinson Cano's contract. And now we can all move on and talk about the big series that the New York Mets have up. So let me put up the breaking news, guys, on the roster. Give me 1 second. Let me just put it. Give me 1 second. All right. Here we go, guys. So it's going to pop up right now. So once again, guys, the Mets have made their decision. Yohan Lopez optioned to AAA, which was no surprise. And the Mets designated Robinson Cano for assignment, guys. This is how you know it's a new regime. It's a new owner. It's a new front office. This is what we were waiting for, guys. this is what we wanted from day one, before the season started. There were so many issues with Robinson Cano, not just the money. It was more of the fact that he wasn't versatile. He can only play second base and DH. He wasn't a utility guy like every other guy in his team is that's on the bench, minus the catcher Anito. He was batting under 200. His on-base percentage was garbage. His pitch recognition was absolutely disgusting. And once again, guys, the New York Mets have shown you they are not the Wilpon New York Mets anymore. That's exactly what fans wanted to see. We were very concerned yesterday. Remember, guys, I honestly think there was discussion amongst the players, amongst the front office, and rumors around the team that Dominc Smith was a big option to send down in AAA because he does have options to the minors. And I think that's why Buck Showalter is genius, because he knew that two guys that were in the lineup yesterday, Luis Guillorme, Dominc Smith, were two guys that have minor league options that could have been sent down yesterday. Or that could have been sent down today. Right? And what did he do? He put them in the lineup, and they both produced, knowing that the pressure that they had on, knowing that if they played bad yesterday, there was a pretty good chance that the Mets might have kept Robinson Cano and sent down one of those two guys. I honestly believe that. If Dominc Smith didn't perform the way he did yesterday, or even Luis Guillorme, who made a nice couple of plays on the field and got that big RBI double yesterday, I honestly think one of those guys would have got sent down, and we would have been complaining and bitching and moaning that Robinson Cano was still on this team when he really does not deserve to be on this team. We know why the reason why he could have been on this team was the money. But once again, guys, they designated for him for assignment. Yohan Lopez option to AAA. That's why Buck Showalter and this organization now, this front office, this regime is different. Buck Showalter put up this lineup last night, and there's definitely a coincidence that Buck Showalter said, these guys are on the bubble right now to get sent down. Dominc Smith and Luis Guillorme. I can guarantee you guys, the lineup yesterday told you everything you needed to know about what the Mets were thinking when it came to who were the two guys going down, or at least the one guy, because we knew Lopez was the guy. One guy that is going to be either sent down or cut. One thing is that now Met fans really understand that it's not about money anymore. It's not. And that's important. So with the lineup, guys, it was a telltale sign. The Mets had a decision, and I honestly believe that Luis Guillorme and Dominc Smith were the two guys that they were thinking about sending down to AAA. That's just my opinion. It could be wrong. They probably already made their decision. It's possible. But the interesting thing, too, and we were talking about this over the last couple of live streams over the last couple of days. Robinson Cano has played twice in the last 8 days. He played one game against the Cardinals, one game against the Phillies. That was it. Over the last 8 days. I think that was a telltale sign as well. But I was concerned at the fact that they know they had options with three guys, Davis, Smith, and Guillorme. And I honestly think Smith or Guillorme was one of the two guys that were going to go down before last night. I really think that was the plan going into last night. But Dominc Smith said, hold up, let me have a game of the season. Let me show what I can do when the pressure is on. And the pressure was on Dominc Smith. Luis Guillorme too, and not as much as Dominc Smith, because there was trade rumors with Dominc Smith in the offseason and during the season. That is why I thought that it's a possibility that Dominc Smith could have got sent down. And there was some people I saw in the poll too. Some people thought about Travis Jankowski. There is no way he could have got rid of Jankowski. One, he doesn't have a minor league option. Two, He's your only fourth outfielder on this team. And let's not talk about Dominc Smith. Dominc Smith's a first baseman and a DH. I don't want to see him in the outfield. That's why Dominc Smith and Jankowski, well, specifically Jankowski, is on this team because he is a fourth outfielder. He can play left, center, right. At any given moment, he can come in as a pinch runner in late game situations if you need a stolen base, or if you need a guy go to first to home when it comes to with his speed and a double in the gap. He can bunt the ball, situational hitting. He's a good player to have as the fourth outfielder. But it goes back to Dominc Smith. I honestly think if Dominc Smith did not have the game that he had yesterday, I honestly think Dominc Smith might have been the one option down the AAA. Only because, let's be honest, Pete Alonso has played every day. Not at first base, but he has played every game along with Francisco Lindor. Both of them guys have not had a day off. So those are the guys that are always in the lineup. If you option Dominc Smith down for a week or two, depending on injuries or somebody not performing, maybe another bullpen arm that's not doing well, you switch him up and you bring in Dominc Smith back. It wasn't going to be a long stint in the minor leagues, but what the Mets did today, about a few minutes ago, when they just announced on their Twitter account, Yohan Lopez option to AAA. And by the way, kudos to Yohan Lopez once again for hitting another batter, which is perfect. Robinson Cano designated for assignment. The Mets are eating the $40+ million left on his contract over the next 2 years. That is music to Met fans' ears. Uncle Jerry, I just saw your tweet, your comment. This is why when people say, when you hear Yankee fans, Philly fans, the Mets are going to choke. It's only April. You're the April World Series champions. You'll hear that from everybody, right? We all know as Met fans what we hear. The difference today is that your owner, my owner, Steve Cohen, wants to win at any cost. And there is no doubt about it, guys. During the lockout, we talked about this. If you weren't around my live streams during the lockouts, some long days on the streams, I said this. Steve Cohen was so pissed off at the owners who didn't want him to be the owner a few years ago, and then voted to get a fourth luxury tax penalty, which is known as the Steve Cohen tax penalty. He got pissed off. And I honestly think he does not give a you-know-what about what anybody thinks in Major League Baseball anymore. And this is a key sign that he does not give a damn about anybody except winning. Money is no object anymore. Money is not an issue anymore when you wear the orange and blue, when you wear that Mets uniform, when you go to the games. And you know what? I'm glad I spend my money at Citi Field now. If I tell you how much I spent over the 5 games I've been to already, you'll probably slap me in the face. I am glad I'm spending money because I know that when I want a player, now it might not be the player I exactly want, but I know if the Mets need a reliever, if the Mets need a big bat, if the Mets need another starter at the trade deadline, I know they're going to get it. And that's exactly why I trust this organization. This is not the same old Mets. This is not the Wilpon Mets. This is the new New York Mets with Steve Cohen at the helm, with Epler, with Buck. They want to win. And there was a lot of people yesterday in the stream that saying they are not going to get rid of Robinson Cano because of their money. And you know what? Some people might be shocked, but it just felt over the last week when you did not see Robinson Cano in the lineup over the last 8 games, he was in there twice. That was a telltale sign, guys, that the Mets were thinking about Robinson Cano, but I honestly think if Dominc Smith did not have a good game yesterday and he struggled offensively, I do believe that it was between Dominc Smith and Robinson Cano. You could say, why would you think that? Well, Dominc Smith, it's not like you're cutting him and any team can pick him up. He would be optioned to the minors probably in a week or so, and depending on which reliever has been performing bad, you could switch it up, or whoever needs to be in this rotation. Maybe a Trevor Williams, who still is on this roster, will be sent down, and Dominc Smith can come back up. It's crazy. It's honestly crazy. And it's nice to see that Dominc Smith, under the pressure of going down to the minors, did what he did yesterday. Basically, him and others, but definitely him, won that game for us last night and won the 7th series, an all-time record in Mets history. 7 consecutive series to start the year in 2022. 7 consecutive series wins. That's all you can ask for. You can't complain about the New York Mets being one of the best teams in baseball, and there's no doubt about the Mets are a very good team. So, before we get a little bit further into talking about what went down and what to look forward to through the Braves series, I'm going to say what up to everybody in the chat. I know a lot of people are excited that it's Robinson Cano out of here. Steven, RM, Robert, Grant, a member of Talking Mets and Rob, Joseph, Sean, Unconscious, Mets Nation, Geraldo, Greg C, Michael, who else we got? Who else got? Stevie Mac, Jerry, Nomedy, Victor, JD, Alien. I'm not sure what to tell you on that one, but that's okay. All right, guys. Elisa, how you doing? Marcus, what's up, guys? And Merlin Full, what's up? Merlin Full, now we're serious. That's what I'm talking about. And I'm going to look at everybody's comments really quickly, guys, so we can talk a little bit more about what has been going on. All right, I know the couple of chats, comments that I already put before the stream. Joseph, you see, when I saw your comment earlier, it doesn't have to be in there, but you can't dump 2 pitchers. Like, yeah, they could have dumped Trevor Williams, and they could have dumped who? Ottavino? Not happening. Rodriguez? You just made a trade for him. You're not going to do that. And it would have probably been Yohan Lopez and Trevor Williams. Maybe most people would have been okay with that. You know, people would have still been going crazy that Robinson Cano was still on his team. But even though Trevor Williams haven't pitched a lot, he's still a guy that if your starter is struggling, which has been very rare this year for the Mets, Trevor Williams can be a long man. So, again, I understand what you mean, but considering the fact that you need a decent amount of pitchers in your bullpen game by game, especially with the Mets going forward with the doubleheader tomorrow against the Braves. Now, granted, you can have an extra player on your roster because of the doubleheader, which will be David Peterson, by the way, who will be pitching in one of the games tomorrow. So, yes, I understand your point, Joseph, but at the same time, you cannot say that Robinson Cano deserves to be on this team. I don't give a damn how much money you owe him. It's just that simple. Robinson Cano had to be off this team. He has been terrible. He has not given any reason to be kept on his team. Defensively, he's lost more range. He is slow. He's not versatile. Only can play second base and DH. His pitch recognition, which is one of the best in the game, has been completely gone. Swinging at bad pitches in the dirt. Every ball he hits is a light fly ball to the outfield or a ground ball to second base. That home run he hit on the home opener to left field, he was so late on that ball. He just got good wood on that ball, guys. It's just not, it doesn't make sense to keep Robinson Cano around. And I'm glad the Mets realized. I mean, they realized that. But to see that the money is a non-issue. Now, again, you're a billionaire, you're a millionaire, it doesn't matter. $20 million is still $20 million. Or in this case, $40 million is still $40 million. It's not exactly, chump change. Yeah, maybe to Steve Cohen, but at the end of the day, if you're a businessman, which he is, $40 million is never something to sneeze at. But Steve Cohen is in it to win it. I know that's a saying that is a little cliche at the moment, but he's in it to win it. And he said in his opening press conference as Mets owner, he didn't buy this team to make money like some owners do. He bought this team because he's a fan of the team. He's a fan of baseball. And he thinks this franchise deserves winning baseball. That's what he said. Money is not an option. He makes his money at .72. That's it, guys. That's the key right here. All right, what else we got here? I see comments that just started in the stream that we already talked about. Hayden, it was for the best to get rid of Cano. Hayden, if you want to tell everybody in your in the comments what you want to when you go live today, let everybody know so they can either subscribe to your channel or make sure they check out your stream later on. Grant, exactly. A member of Talking Mets and Raw, by the way. Yeah. Like I said, these guys had minor league options. Dominc Smith, I honestly think he was vital to this team, even though he was performing badly. His defense at first base is so much better. Is just too good to throw away and put in the minors. Guillorme is versatile. You need that type of guy. It's the only backup shortstop we have. Jankowski, another versatile player, can play all three outfields. Can come in a late inning pinch runner. He's a good bunter. He's a guy that can move a runner over if need be. He puts the ball in play, making errors happen, making the defense work. That's what these guys do. But at the end of the day, Yohan Lopez, who become a fan favorite very quickly, was what he did with Arenado and yesterday against Castellanos. It's like, oh well. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, Yohan Lopez, he's got good stuff, but let's be honest. The Mets used him to do the deed that they needed to do and to show that we're not taking nobody's crap anymore by getting hit by more pitches. And let's be honest, the New York Mets retaliated after Francisco Lindor got hit by a pitch. So before anybody goes nuts, which I don't think anybody will, about why Yohan Lopez went after Schwarber, let's calm it down a little bit because the Mets retaliated, and that's what they needed to do. And I like to see that. All right, at what point do you stop pitching to Kyle Schwarber? I stopped pitching around. Yeah, you know what? But you see, in situations like that, when you got Scherzer on the mound, your ace, you don't want to pitch around Schwarber unless the situation calls for it. That solo home run to give them the first run, it's like, okay, fine. But like, you can give that up. The 2-run homer kind of sucked, but again, you can't pitch around guys if the situation doesn't entail to it. The situation doesn't fit that type of situation. The Mets were still in the lead at the time. Obviously the home run tied up the game, but at the end of the day, nobody else was doing nothing in that lineup. So, I guarantee if it was the 9th inning and it was a 2-run ball game and Kyle Schwarber was at the plate with a runner on, you might have walked him to get to somebody else. But again, I'm not a component of walking guys when the situation doesn't call for it. I don't like putting men on base. It puts pressure on the pitcher. An error here or a blue base hit here. Oh, now look, a run scored, or now a second and third, or a first and third with one out, or nobody out. Well, unconscious. I mean, they have to get credit because if you really think about it, if the Mets didn't designate Robinson Cano for assignment, what would have happened? Everybody would have killed the Mets. Oh, they're worried about the money, even though we got a billionaire owner. They have to get credit in this spot because, unconscious, I'm not sure if you were in the stream last night. there was tons of Mets fans that were saying there's no way to get rid of Robinson Cano because of his $40 million left on his contract. People truly believe that because we still got that mindset and embedded in our brain that Jeff Wilpon and Fred Wilpon are still owners of this team. Even though we know they're not, subconsciously, we feel that way. That's the problem. That's why you give credit to this, because there's a lot of teams, and let's be honest, our crosstown rivals, the Yankees, I guarantee you, if they had to make that same decision with Hal Steinbrenner at the helm now for the Yankees, Robinson Cano would have still been on that Yankee team. So let's not you got to give credit where credit is due, but you also you could have got down their throats and blamed them for not getting rid of Robinson Cano if they made that decision. Yeah, unconscious. Joely Rodriguez, again, he is not a guy that you put in situations where you have a ton of right-handed batters. It just doesn't make sense. Yesterday, he did well. He faced Schwarber. He walked him, got rid of Bohm, and then I forgot who batted after Bohm, but it was another right-handed batter, and then Odubel Herrera. He did a good job. He's been pitching better, but Rodriguez is a left-handed specialist. That's what he is. But with the 3-batter rule, you kind of in a pickle, so to speak, because there's not a lot of times when you'll have 2 or 3 back-to-back left-handed hitters to be faced in a spot where Joely Rodriguez will come in. So either Joely Rodriguez figures it out against right-handers, which lately he has been. If everybody did forget, he was part of the 5 guys that pitched that no-hitter the other day. And there was a couple of lefties in the lineup as well. That was with Didi Gregorius. That was with Schwarber. That was with Harper. So Joely, you're not going to trade Castro for Rodriguez and send him because Rodriguez doesn't have options. You would have to designate him for assignment. And guess what? Somebody would pick him up right away. You know who would pick him up right away? Probably the Yankees, because it wouldn't hurt having a lefty in that bullpen as well, even though the bullpen has been great. So, but again, Robinson Cano was the smart move. It's just that simple. You can give credit even though it was the obvious thing to do. I mean, you do a good job at work, you get complimented. Are you going to tell your boss, well, it's my job, that's what I'm supposed to do? No, you're going to accept the compliment and go about your business. That's what the Mets are doing here. Listed as number 2. Who is number 1 right now? The Yankees? Because they've been playing so well? What else we got? Let's see what else we have. Yeah, JD, honestly, what was it? On Friday when I went to the game against Philly, the no-hitter, the game. Honestly, like, I think I spent about $400. Like, I bought the Max Scherzer black jersey that's right here. I'm a season ticket holder, so I got, they were giving 20% off that day for merchandise bought. So I was like, the hell? I'm like, $170 jersey goes to like $135, $130. Hell yeah, thank you. I bought other stuff. I bought hats, another couple of shirts. I went crazy, but that's beside the point. Nobody cares about me. All right. People are talking about Francisco Lindor's comments last night when they asked him about Robinson Cano possibly being cut by the team. He says that he wouldn't like it. Well, guess what, Francisco Lindor? It's a business, right? Grow up. I get your friends, you're cool, but at the end of the day, guys, Francisco Lindor just got to continue to play the way he's been playing. It's just that simple. That's it. I don't think cutting Robinson Cano is going to destroy the chemistry that this team has. It doesn't make sense to me. I mean, how can a guy that got busted for steroids twice, who is a guy who doesn't run out a ball that hits on the ground to first base, never in his career does he do that, could have been a Hall of Famer, but because of the steroids and shamed himself, you're going to have players look up to him? I'm sorry. It's not going to kill the chemistry of this team. Stoney, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Hell yeah. Thank you so much for your super chat, buddy. Love this team. Take more series and dominate the NL East. Can't agree with you more. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. All right, what else we got here, guys? So I'm actually glad it was clear that the Mets probably made their decision last night, and that's why the front office has to get to the stadium, make the official call on the designated for assignment with Cano. So that's why I'm surprised they didn't wait until exactly 12 o'clock and leave the anticipation. But you know what? The Mets have done things differently this year. They said, you know what? We know what we got to do. We put it out there. That's it. Joey, you can have Cano. Look, Cano was a great Yankee. There's no doubt about that. For all we know, he might have took steroids during that time as well. I don't know. But, I'm a guy and I'm a person that says, do whatever you got to do to one up the next person. I'm just that situation. It's their body. It's their choice. They want to take steroids. They take steroids. I understand that not everybody does it. So that's why there's a rule against it. Just like the same thing with Spider Tech. I honestly think that players should be using some type of substance so nobody doesn't get killed by a 98 miles an hour fastball to the head. But we'll see. Jamil, nobody's getting brought up. Two guys had to get sent down or cut. So Yohan Lopez and Robinson Cano got designated for assignment. Foley is hurt. He's on the IL. So but again, if Foley didn't get hurt, Foley would have been the one sent down to AAA. Not Yohan Lopez because he would already been in AAA. Excuse me. Just trying to get to everybody's comments. Sorry about that. If I misread your quote, unconscious, that's my bad. Sorry, I'm just trying to read through everybody's comments. They were coming in quickly, so I just wanted to make sure that I try to get to everybody I can. Yeah, blind bid, exactly. Like, he came in. Not a lot of Met fans liked that trade. They understood they needed another lefty in the bullpen, but Castro was somewhat of a player that people liked. Met fans liked him. But, again, Joely Rodriguez is a left-handed specialist. A lot of Met fans got mad that they traded Castro, but didn't realize what the Mets were trying to do there. And I don't think a lot of Met fans realize that Joely Rodriguez is a left-handed specialist. When you got Matt Olson, when you got Harper, Schwarber, when you got Juan Soto in your division, you need that lefty specialist, at least another lefty in the bullpen, to get the job done. You can't always use Chase and Shreve. Shreve is your Swiss Army knife. He can pitch to anybody. He's been great this year. And you know what? He's been better than most lefties that we all wanted the Mets to get. The Chafins of the world, even though Watson's retired. But a guy like Watson, guys like that. Or Trevor Rogers. Or Taylor Rogers, excuse me. That we could have got from the Twins that got traded. Guys like that. Shreve has been just as good as anybody that the Mets were looking at. But you can't use Chase and Shreve every single day. If you need him in a big spot, fine. But Joely Rodriguez, as you've seen yesterday, even though he walked Kyle Schwarber, he still got the job done yesterday. He's pitched better. You can look at his ERA. You can look at the hits. But recently, he's been very good for us. And he's been getting a little bit better against right-handers. And that's what I like to see. And let's be honest, guys. This is why I loved the no-hitter on Friday. Some people are like, oh, it's not a real no-hitter. You didn't use one pitcher. Okay, fine. But it's a no-hitter. And what I loved about it is that you had to use 4 bullpen arms. The same bullpen that me and many others have crushed because that's one of our Achilles heels on this team. I killed them. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys because you guys will call me out on it. I was critical of this bullpen. But the beauty of baseball is that things can turn around in a snap of a finger. And this team This bullpen has been pitching better. Minus the Ottavino game yesterday. I'm sorry. 2 days ago. They've been pretty good. Ottavino has been good up until the other day. But at the same time, I love that the bullpen has been finding their roles a little bit more. Drew Smith has been, one of the setup guys in this bullpen now, over May now. Lugo, Smith, and Diaz is basically your 7, 8, 9 nowadays. It was May, but May's garbage. So, maybe May will turn it around. I hope so. If we got May to turn it around as well, this bullpen's going to be nasty. It's not going to be the Yankees bullpen, that's for damn sure, or the Marlins bullpen. But we don't need them to be, because we don't need our bullpen arms to go 5+ innings on a regular day basis like the Marlins have to, like the Yankees have to. And for everybody who talks about the Marlins bullpen and the Yankees bullpen, how great they are, talk to me in June when their bullpen has more innings than starting pitcher, because that's going to be a huge problem. Like, do you see the amount of innings the Yankees bullpen and the Marlins bullpen has pitched already? And it's only the first month of the season. It always catches up to you. It always does. Because we talked about that a couple of years ago with the Mets, that they were using too much bullpen early on in the season, and it killed us the rest of the year, i.e. 2018 and 2019. So that's just the way I think it is. Bullpens are a dime a dozen. The bullpens are a crapshoot every year. The best bullpen in the league can be the worst bullpen in the league the following year. It's just that simple. Stoney, it is a big series tonight. The Braves have been struggling. They're 3 games under 500. They did get Acuna back. But I do love that Chris Bassett is pitching today. The bulldog mentality of Chris Bassett. We are facing Max Fried, which is going to be tough for us tonight. No doubt about it. But having Chris Bassett to start the series, a guy who has 5 or 6 pitches that could throw him at any count, I like him starting the series. Because tomorrow is going to be difficult. You got Carrasco, who had a bad start in St. Louis. And you're also going to have David Peterson getting called up, most likely, to pitch in one of those 2 games. So let's see. Look, the key to the series, win game 1. That's the key. Listen, I don't think Met fans would be mad if we split the series against a Brave team who, let's be honest, has been one of our kryptonites over the last couple of years. In my lifetime, basically. So, but I want to see how the Mets are going to perform. Swanson, Olsen, Acuna, Albies, Riley, all the Darno, all these guys are just, they piss me off. I can't stand the Braves. I know our rivals are the Phillies and the Nationals at some point. The Braves, I can't stand. You want to know a team I hate more than the Phillies? The freaking Atlanta Braves. They killed me in the 90s. Killed me. Well, yeah, KTU, exactly. This is why the Robinson Cano thing is not only smart and an obvious move for the Mets because he hasn't been performing, but he doesn't clog up the DH spot. Now you get more bats for Dominc Smith. Now you get more bats for JD Davis, who is a good hitter. People were like, oh, Dominc Smith is not getting any playing time. That's why he's not hitting. Well, why do you think JD Davis is not hitting? He's played less than Dominc Smith. So I do like on almost everyday basis, Dominc Smith and JD Davis will be in the lineup. And I love that. Dominc Smith will probably DH tonight. Pete Alonso will probably play first. We'll see. But I'm happy. I can't be more happy than I am right now. Team's in first place. They've looked good. Uh-oh. Sorry, guys. A little bit of a problem. Sorry, guys. God damn it. Ay. Sorry about that, guys. I had a mini blackout for a second here. I don't know what the hell happened. Jesus. Sorry about that, guys. Whew. Can you guys hear me? I just want to make sure. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, guys. I had like a mini blackout for a second. Wow. All right, guys. Sorry about that. Sorry. Wow. I don't know what happened. Everything just went off on me. I went down the circuit breaker went crazy on me. Sorry about that, guys. All right. So once again, guys, the big reason that we were just talking about, Dominc Smith, JD Davis will get more playing time because of the DH spot being open because Cano is not there. It's a perfect scenario. You know, Dominc Smith is probably going to be in the lineup tonight. No doubt about that. So I'm happy to say that the Mets made the right decision. And I'm sorry, guys, because I lost the power. If you can start putting your comment up again, I missed a lot of them because it cut off on me. Unfortunately, I'm sorry about that, but yeah, I can't stand the Braves. I'm sorry. I grew up in the 90s where the Braves were the dominant force of the NL, and you know, I just can't stand the Braves. I just can't. Yeah, we'll see. I don't. I think the Mets are. I think. See, with that situation, KTU, when it comes to the catcher, I'm a little worried. Well, I'm not worried. Say, I'm more. A little. I think the Mets are a little bit hesitant to mess up the chemistry with the pitchers right now, only because I know Nito, I know McCann has been hitting, but I look at the defensive position, the catcher now as a defensive position. I'm not going crazy. Like, granted, they shouldn't be batting under 200, but if they're doing the same thing and they're hurting us, you know, in June and July, you might talk about Alvarez coming up. We'll see, though. We'll see. Once again, guys, people are still talking about people being cut. It's over. Yohan Lopez and Robinson Cano are gone off this team. So no Guillorme, no Smith, no JD Davis, no Jankowski. Robinson Cano and Yohan Lopez. Lopez optioned to AAA. Cano has been designated for assignment. You know, honestly, the backup second baseman is Luis Guillorme. That's it. You don't see with the DH now, guys. That's why when a lot of people are talking about, oh, you know, we can't really get rid of this guy, we can't get rid of this guy. It's not National League Baseball anymore where you need a lot of both bench players because of double switches. If your pitcher comes out early, you got to pinch hit for him. Stuff like that. There's no more of that. So your bench is somewhat irrelevant most of the time unless you're going to make a big pinch hit appearance later in the game, which is basically American League Baseball. So it makes sense now that, you know, you only need one backup infielder and one backup outfielder, and you know, another guy scattered here and there, like Davis, who can play in third base as well. So Guillorme is your backup shortstop, your backup second baseman, and JD Davis is your backup third baseman. Two backup infielders, one fourth outfielder, and your catcher. And Jankowski is your backup outfielder. So that's about it. So that's how it goes now with the DH. Tegman, what's up, buddy? Yeah, I think we're all stoked. We're all freaking stoked. No, I wish I was that old. I wish I was that young. I wasn't 5. I was actually about 13, 14, 12, 13, 14 years old during those years when the Braves used to break my heart every year, especially in the late 80s. I mean, late 90s, excuse me. Yeah, Tegman, you know, like I said, I feel confident if the Mets need a bullpen arm, if the Mets need a starter, if the Mets need a big bat, they'll get it at the deadline. I'm not worried about that. You know, who you give up is another conversation for another day. But I'm feel confident that the Mets will do that if they need to. Yeah, like I said, Lindor is still a guy that works on his emotions. And I understand Cano is his friend, probably a best friend. But at the end of the day, it's a business decision. And you got to do what you got to do for this team to win. And Lindor has no credibility or no reason or examples of why they keep Robinson Cano. You can't. What if you ask Robinson Cano, what has he done well? I don't want to hear, oh, he's a good clubhouse guy. Oh, he's a good veteran presence. No, he's not. Who cares? It does not matter. This team is still a veteran team minus Cano, Marte, Escobar, Kana, Carrasco, Bassett, Scherzer. There's your veteran presence. And guess what? Those guys actually perform so they can be a veteran presence. Just that simple. It's just that simple. Well, again, when DeGrom comes back, we have to wait and see. But that's not probably for another month and a half. Middle of June, early July, around that time. At that moment, we'll worry about that then. At the moment, it'll be Trevor Williams. If DeGrom came back tomorrow, it'll be Trevor Williams being sent down. I look so young. I'm glad I look young. I don't feel young. I tell you that. All right, just trying to get to everybody's comments again, guys. Danny G, I agree with you, buddy. That's why I'm very, we needed Scherzer yesterday, even though he gave up 4 runs. He was still good enough to go that extra inning, that 6th inning, to save the bullpen a little bit. What Scherzer does, he doesn't have it, he got it going. So, Bassett tonight, I think, is the tone setter, as Danny said. He's the tone setter, 100%. Can't agree more. Yeah, he hit 315 in 2020, but he was also on steroids. So I'm not going to go crazy on that. Because of the pandemic, they weren't testing as much, or if at all, during that season. Dominic, they got rid of Robinson Cano. Hallelujah. Yeah, I get RM. This is what's probably going to happen. If there's a lefty on the mound, probably JD Davis. When there's a righty on the mound, probably be Dominc Smith. Just that simple. Simple platoon. And I'm fine with that. I'm okay with that. Angel. Bye-bye, Cano. Look, everybody's happy. It's just first place Mets. Robinson Cano gone. I mean, geez. Can't ask for any more. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing that I was talking about earlier, Stoney, with the Mets. In years past, specifically 2018 and 2019, the New York Mets were constantly taking guys out in the 5th inning, maybe the 6th inning, maybe. They never would make them go past the 6th inning, and they used to kill our bullpen. There was days when Lugo had to pitch 2 innings, and we wouldn't see him for 3 days. May came in for an inning or 2. It was just bad. Familia, it's just you overused your bullpen. By the time June came, they were spent. They were tired. You can't have that. Every game, I believe it's every game except for 1 game or 2 games. Every one of the Mets pitchers have gone 6 innings or more. 2 times, I think they came out in the 5th. One was Carrasco, and the other one, I believe, was Taijuan Walker when he came out with the injury. That's sustainable. All this pitchers coming out in the 5th, the 4th, like the Yankees have done, even though the Yankee starters have been going 6th inning a little bit, but they're still going 5, 4, sometimes 6 innings with their relievers. And the Marlins, it's not sustainable. I'm sorry, it's not. Well, yeah, last time I wasn't even thought of yet when the Mets won the World Series in '86. I was born the year after. Yeah, John, I understand Trevor Williams doesn't have an option left, but Trevor Williams would be off this team if Jacob DeGrom is ready tomorrow. Just that's what would happen. Like, who else would you get rid of? It's hard to think that another arm in the bullpen would go because they're actually needed on this team. Well, we'll see. You never know. Somebody might pick Robinson Cano up. He's going to be on the cheap now. You know, somebody signs him. It's only a league minimum. So we'll see if that happens. Yeah, exactly. They DFA'd Travis Blankenhorn. Again, Cano has that veteran option where he's not going to the minors. I mean, he could if he said yes, but I doubt it. So, all right, what else we got here? Well, Ryan Conforto's out for the year because he had shoulder surgery. So, I haven't seen a comment yet from Cano. I've been trying to follow Twitter a little bit. Honestly, I haven't since I came on. I haven't, but I'll see. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I haven't seen anything yet. Todd Zeal said something. We can listen to him right now. See what he said. Just give me a second. I'm gonna put it on right now with Todd Zeal. What he said on SNY.
Today's a little bit of a sad day for me, honestly, with the Robinson Cano move. I think it's the right move. I think the Mets made the decision they had to make. You've got Jankowski and Guillorme both playing well. You need that speed. You need the versatility. Robbie's bat has not been firing so far this season, and you certainly need J.D. Davis from the right side. That's a very left-handed bench. So it's the right move. It's just maybe the end of an era and a little bit sad because I think he's still got some hits left in him. He just didn't have the bat firing. No. The bat speed was down. And, just a little bit of a gut punch because I think he was really great with the guys in the clubhouse. I think he still had a lot of leadership role. I know Buck Showalter liked him because of that leadership. But the leadership's not getting the hits that they need right now, and thus they had to make the move they had to make. So sorry to see Robbie go, but I know it was the right thing to do.
There you go, guys. That was Todd Zeal about 10 minutes ago. Look, I understand why he said it's a sad day. Because again, there's no doubt that Cano had an influence on this clubhouse. I get it. But you know what? You can't be a leader of a team if you don't perform. Nobody's gonna listen to it anymore. I'm sorry, it's not happening. You know, Todd Zeal said he still thinks his hits in that bat. Yeah, I don't think so at all. Steroids is not helping him anymore. He clearly ain't on him anymore. So I'm sorry. You know, if Cano's a good guy in a clubhouse, fine. But it's not like Robinson Cano is the only veteran in this clubhouse. He's not. We got 5, 6, 7 guys who are veterans on his team that will take care of that leadership role that Cano supposedly had. So, Todd Zeal, I get it, but stay quiet. I'm sorry. All right, let's see. Okay, so Joel Sherman just spoke to Cano's agent, Brody Van Wagenen, go figure, who said when his client becomes a free agent, Robbie would absolutely still wants to play. Given the right situation, he can still make a meaningful contribution for a team. So that of his old friend GM, Robinson Cano. Go figure. Brody Van Wagenen traded for Robinson Cano and Edwin Diaz for Jared Kelenic and take on all his money for his client. How about that? So there's your statement right there from Joel Sherman, from Brody Van Wagenen, Robbie Cano's agent. Once again, guys, he said Robbie absolutely still wants to play given the right situation. He can still make a meaningful contribution for a team. How cute. Don't care. So there you go, guys. There's your statement from Robinson Cano, from his agent, Brody Van Wagenen. Go figure. Oh, Jesus. It's amazing to me. Let's see if we got anything else. All right, Joe DeMayo, SNY contributor, guy who does the prospects list for the Mets and SNY. He says, one thing I credit the Mets for in regards to Robinson Cano's decision is they did not leave the money owed stand in the way of what they thought was right for that baseball decision. 100%. So there you go. What else do we got here? Any other tweet from a player? Howie Rose tweets, this is how we know the Mets ownership and management are seriously committed to winning at all costs. Cano was the obvious choice to be excised. His roster spot was a redundancy, but that's a lot of money for an owner to swallow. It's a meritocracy and a meritocracy, and that's how it should be. I agree. That is Howie Rose. What else we got here, guys? Yeah, that's it. All right, so there you go, guys. Interesting. But who really like? Okay, fine, that's fine. But they're already on the team, so it doesn't matter. Either you're gonna play or you're gonna be benched. Look, Robinson Cano could have brought Escobar here, could have brought Marte here. You know what brought Marte here? The money. They paid him the most. That's what got Marte here. You know what got Cohen here? The money. You know what got Escobar here? The money. They weren't getting that money anywhere else. So, for anybody who wants to say that Cano was the driving force to get Marte or Escobar, okay, fine. You know what brought Max Scherzer here? The $43 million. That's what got Marte here. That's what got Cohen here. That's what got Escobar here. And that's what got Scherzer here. The money. So they weren't influenced by a player, specifically Robinson Cano. It's no. They could tell you that. You might want to believe that, but the money talks. Yeah, it's crazy. Like I said, there's not a lot of owners and conscious. I agree with you with that. Let me throw up your comment right there. Yeah, it's a lot of money. It is. $40 million over 2 years is not something to laugh about or, throws in the garbage. Like most of these owners are business guys. It's not easy to throw away $20 million per year. It's not. And not get nothing in return for it. But again, Cohen is not a guy trying to make money owning a baseball team. He took on a lot of that Wilpon debt by taking his team and Citi Field. I mean, he had to give a contribution to the mayor to get unvaccinated players playing in New York. I mean, it's crazy. That's what we have here, guys. We have an owner, which is rare nowadays, to eat that money. The teams that always used to do it was the Yankees, was occasionally the Red Sox. Most teams don't do that anymore. Nobody really does that anymore. I can almost guarantee you that almost 99% of all owners would have not cut Robinson Cano today because of that money. This is something that I can almost guarantee you guys. You will hear an owner get quoted how this is the reason why we have lockouts. Because owners are not happy with Steve Cohen just did today. Guarantee you. 100%. Guaranteed that they were not happy about this move. I guarantee you that. Because it shows baseball, it shows the players, it shows future free agents. Hey, before we sign with that team, throw that contract over to the Mets to see if they would take that or give more. That's the difference now, is that any free agent, before they sign that contract on the dotted line, they're going to go to the Mets and say, can you give more? That used to be the Yankees. That used to be the Angels. That used to be the Red Sox, the Cubs. It's the New York Mets now. That is a huge difference. That's why these little moves that might not be very popular amongst owners and teams, front offices, but you know what it does? It opens up the eyes of every future free agent going forward. You don't think Juan Soto was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about? Now, that's an owner that wants to spend money and doesn't care about losing $40 million over 2 years. You don't think Juan Soto's like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about? Of course he is. Players recognize this. Players recognize that Steve Cohen, the Mets owner, doesn't care about the money. He cares about winning. Players know that. Players talk. That's why this is a big deal today. Not only because Cano was a waste of a roster spot, but it shows other players that the Mets are a team that wants to win, that doesn't care how much it takes, how much money it needs to be spent to win. If it comes up, if the Mets have to spend money to make this team better. That's why this move is so big. Not because of the roster, not because Cano sucks, but because the owner showed everybody around baseball that it's about winning. It's not about money. That's why there's a Steve Cohen tax for the luxury tax, because they know, owners know around the league, that Steve Cohen do not give a damn about money and will spend whatever he needs to spend to win a World Series if it calls for it. And that's why this move is so important today, because it scares other owners and it makes players very freaking happy, guys. That's why today's a great day. This is why today was important. You know, we were discussing over the last hour why the Cano decision had to happen, because he wasn't doing anything for this team. He was blocking the DH spot because he was playing DH if he wasn't playing the field, taking games away, taking starts away against for J.D. Davis and Dominc Smith. That's obvious. But on the other side of it, the baseball side of it, it scares the hell out of owners in Major League Baseball. They're like, oh my God, this guy just cut $40 million. It doesn't help at all. It doesn't, there's nothing, that money is burned now. Burned. Absolutely burned. Owners don't like that. And the bot's here. What else is new? So, guys, that's exactly why this move was important. And again, Met fans are happy. Met fans are going in for a fight today because we got a 4-game series against another NL East rival in the Atlanta Braves. It's going to be a tough series. Max Fried is on the mound for the Braves. Chris Bassett is on for the Mets. Big deal. Big series. Again, most of us, I would be okay with splitting a series. No doubt about it. But because we won 7 series in a row, I just love to take 3 out of 4 against the Atlanta Braves. Show who is the team to beat in the NL East. That's why we need to get it done. And starting with tonight with Chris Bassett on the mound. All right, guys. So that was your hour Mets roster update. We all got the news that we were hoping for. Once again, guys, on your screen, Yohan Lopez, option down to AAA, and Robinson Cano was designated for assignment by the New York Mets. That is music, music, music to Mets fans' ears. Money is no obstacle anymore. Money isn't an issue anymore for the New York Mets. Met fans should be ecstatic today because of the news that we just heard about a half hour ago. Once again, guys, Robinson Cano has been DFA'd. Yohan Lopez to AAA. Mets got their roster down to 26. J.D. Davis, Dominc Smith, Luis Guillorme, and Travis Jankowski all remain on the roster, and was the move to make was Robinson Cano. Once again, guys, I really appreciate everybody hanging in on this Monday afternoon, getting the news of the Mets roster updates, cutting Robinson Cano. I really appreciate everybody tuning in and all the support you've been giving to the channel. Hopefully, I don't get called into work today. I plan on doing another live stream for Game 1 against the Mets versus Braves. So hopefully you guys tune in later tonight around 6 o'clock for Mets pregame leading into Mets versus Braves. Once again, guys, really appreciate everybody tuning in today. Don't forget to hit on that like button, guys. And make sure you hit on that like button, guys, so people can replay this stream and it'll be at the top of their YouTube search list when they want to check out the Mets roster updates. Really appreciate everybody tuning in today. Have a good afternoon, guys. Let's go, Mets. Let's beat those Braves. Have a good day, guys.